My name is Christopher Himmel. I am a programmer analyst slash uh, data science enthusiast, striving to become a data scientist. It all really started, I've been a programmer since I was a kid, since I was 7 years old. My dad was a programmer and he got me into it.
Hmm.
And it was in the business world, whereas I wasn't programming in business at that time, but it was a lot of math, a lot of graphics, stuff like that, stuff you do when you're a kid. Games, I created lots of games. Then I started working for him around that time as well, and really got into the business world further, like in high school. That's when I started working for him, like doing his kind of stuff. Um, and then in college, I went to USF, South Florida, and then Georgia Tech, both for electrical engineering. Got my master's in electrical engineering, and it was in research at that time. Doing my master's. I was planning on my PhD, but I ended up with just a master's, and it was in neural networks. Actually, this was. I'm going to date myself. This was back in early '90s, uh, back when there was no such thing as deep learning yet.
Hmm.
Neural networks at that time were one hidden layer. That was it, because you could get nonlinearity if you added that. And my research was comparing neural networks with just one hidden layer, very few neurons, probably 20, with statistical methods. Linear regression was the one that I compared. My professor at that time, uh, he graduated from Berkeley in statistics, and I was one of his first students. And you may recognize his name, Gary May. He's now running UC Davis.
Hmm.
He worked up pretty far, as a professor there, and dean of engineering, and then started at UC Davis like last year. And I've met up with him a couple times, just connecting, trying to get some recommendations from him and everything. And he's like, Chris, hey, how you doing? Don't call me Dr. May. Don't call me Chancellor May. Gary, that's it. Let's hang out. No, he hasn't said let's hang out. But his wife was like, we all need to hang out because they're new to the area.
Uh-huh.
And, they would love to, get to know more people around here. So, so I did electrical engineering, did my research in neural networks, and I published a few papers back then. And those papers have been referenced around 300 times since then,
Wow.
um, and around the world, and even in some, um, some really interesting stuff has referenced that. That was some of Dr. May's early work, and uh, I was lucky to partake in that. So after graduating, I went into the business world. I followed my dad's footsteps, programmed in that area.
Hmm.
I should have done what all my friends did and came out to here to San Francisco Bay Area and partake in the internet boom. But no, I went into what my dad did, older technologies, not the newest stuff. And a few years ago, I kind of started back on that track. I never lost track of neural networks and the way the brain works. I was always fascinated with that. Did business intelligence, for work, a lot of that, data warehousing, management, programming. I was always programming. And then back when I moved out here to San Francisco, I grew up in the East Coast. I started to hear about all neural networks. This is around 2012,
Hmm.
and just data science. This new thing, data science. So I had to start getting back into it. Much more than I had before that. Um, I had been trying like the past 10 years to kind of move in that direction. And I was fascinated out here in the Bay Area. There were 3 or 4 or 5 meetups every week about neural networks, about
Oh, wow.
um, all the development, the engineering that was going on, that stuff had changed since I was there,
Hmm.
since I was in it. You're able to do much more processing now, and people were doing many more layers. Convolutional neural networks. This took a boom. Started back in 2005,
Hmm.
and just people were doing amazing things with it. And I was watching this, going to all these seminars, conventions, everything in the past 6 years it was available. And
Right.
I was just like super jazzed. I'm like, I got to get a job back in this. Oh yeah. So I took some classes, a bunch of classes, got some certifications. Um, just still just as jazzed about it. Done a few projects, and I haven't really pushed to get a job in it yet because I don't feel like I'm quite there yet. Uh, but soon. Um, and part of that is it's this class I'm going to teach. Got that idea at the beginning of this year. Um, Mainly, it was going to be teaching for people at my work. I work at Cost Plus World Market on
Hmm.
IT, and everybody's like super interested. Because I've been talking about it a lot. We had lunch and learn about it, and talking to a lot of people about it. So I'm just really like this super enthusiastic, evangelistic type of person. So
Yeah, and that really came through when we were chatting earlier. So I really can't wait to hear more about this course. And people can find that at deepersideoflearning.com. So tell us more. How do people sign up? How long does it take? When does it start?
sure, sure. Yeah, if you go to deepersideoflearning.com, on the front page it says splash, my course is starting finally. There's a button there for register. Um, it starts Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, which
So
would be nice.
Thursday's what, the 20th?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, a few
Got it.
days.
September 20th. Okay.
Yes, this class came about not just me at my company, but I joined the data science dream job group with Kyle McHugh,
Oh,
Randy
okay.
Lau,
Okay.
and when I started to plan it, really do it, I asked Kyle and Randy, can I invite your guys? And they were like, yeah, heck yeah. I so they pushed it. I'm pushing it there also, and got a bunch of people from that group
Okay.
signed up. So right now I'm up to 130 people.
Congratulations. So
So
tell us what will somebody learn at the end of this program?
hmm, my goal is not to necessarily make you a data scientist, but if you don't have any experience, no
Hmm.
experience in Python, I'm going to take you through a journey through what it's like to develop models, to interrogate your data, to the statistics behind it. I'm going to go into a little bit of that, a little bit of mathematics, so
Okay.
that you just at least can understand these really complex papers with a lot of math.
Hmm.
At least you'll be able to appreciate it. We're going to delve into the neural networks, my specialty, um, but also the other models, statistical models. We'll go into those and compare them all. These are just very typical data science um, tasks,
Hmm.
and you're going to follow along. I'm going to get you started with Python, and you're going to have some homework to do to to copy some of this stuff. There's tons of articles out there, which I'll be referencing and having you look at the articles also to understand them.
Hmm.
Like towards data science is a very good example. Data science connection.
Yeah.
Um, and then at the end you'll do your own project. And my goal is at least with the people that I'm working with at my company to do some retail data science. That's
Okay.
recency, frequency, monetary, churn,
Hmm.
price prediction, sales forecasting, stuff like that.
Very interesting. So they meet, I think you said every Thursday, once a week for, was it 9 weeks?
Right. It'll be 13 weeks.
Oh,
That'll take
13.
us
Okay.
right up to Christmas. And continue if after that, if there's still more stuff, if everybody's still as jazzed about it as I am. And the first three classes are free. After that, it's there's not a very huge price, and of course I can if cost is an issue, we can work about that. We can work around that. But you'll have, this isn't one of the MOOCs where it's just recorded ahead of time and you're just kind of following through
Mm-hmm.
a process. You're actually working with somebody who's right there in front of you.
Okay, so these are live every week. You're
Yes,
on there live.
yes. They went live and recorded so that if you miss one, you can catch up.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So,
great.
so right off the bat, it'll be introduction to the data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. And then we'll go right into. I want to go into neural networks first, just at least a high level. Just all these buzzwords that are flying around.
Yeah.
That you hear about, automated cars and all that kind of thing. So, I want to go at least at a high level on some of the big things, and then we'll dive right in.
Great.
So that's the plan.
All right. So tell me a bit more about what you do at Cost Plus World Market.
As a business systems analyst, I program. That's mainly what I do. Specs, testing, a lot of working with the users, a lot of business, business analysis. I work on the IBM mid-range platform, AS400. It's a very old machine, but there's just so much of it out there that I can't seem to. The job just seems to be good enough that I just can't make a huge transition. But it will, at some point, I'm basically at that point right now.
It's interesting how your level of excitement changes from when you're talking about neural networks and your course and then your actual job. You're just, well.
Yeah, you sound like my mentor, my coach. Yes, you're exactly right. I mean, I enjoy my job because it's working with data, working with programming, working with business ideas, but just the technology is just outdated.
I get that.
So, and we're owned by Bed Bath and Beyond,
Okay.
and they are also in older technology. So, I'll be in that for quite a while, given if I stay here. So.
Okay, cool. All right, so the next question I have for you might take you some time to think about it, but if you could possess one superhuman power, what would it be?
Wow. I'd say reading people's minds, but I kind of feel like I can't do that, but I feel like I have at least the gist of that at this point. I really wish I could get back into running. That
Running.
would be it. I kind of felt like a superhuman when I was doing the ultra marathons.
Oh, cool.
Everybody thought I was anyway.
How fast did you go?
How fast?
Well, you said it was like superhuman, so.
Well, just for my size. I mean, I'm a bigger guy, very big build, and I'm not a marathon runner by any stretch, but I can book it. I did 100K in 13 and a half hours.
How many miles is that? Do the math.
62.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And I've done a 5K in 20 and a half. So,
wow, very impressive.
and my 100 yard or 100 meter is 14.4, I think, seconds. So, I'm a very good runner, but, hip issues have kind of taken me from that.
Maybe
Um,
running has taken its toll.
yeah, it's just you really have to take care of yourself, and it takes a lot to do that. I need to hit a chiropractor, masseuse probably at least once a week
Yeah.
to get back into it. So what I do is swim.
Okay. That was
I
actually my last question for you is what do you do in your spare time? So let's hear about your swimming.
I swim in the bay. Um, I swim, at least a mile at each time.
Okay.
Cold water, wonderful, great for you. And also I play underwater hockey.
What even is that? I've never heard of this.
You have to Google it.
Make it up.
No, 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 no. It's almost an Olympic sport. It's kind of like it was actually an underwater rugby also, but that's even more eccentric. It's like water polo as far as
Oh, okay.
the way you play, but you play at the bottom of the pool.
Do you go under the water?
Yes, you stay at the bottom as much as you can.
Oh my God,
You
that's interesting.
smoke in gear,
Oh wow, okay,
and
cool.
you push a little puck.
Learned something
Looks
new
like
today.
yeah, yeah. It's there's just a lot of stuff on YouTube. Um, it's very popular in other countries, not so much here, but out in the Bay Area here, there's several pockets of it.
Wow, I'll
Um,
definitely check that out.
yeah, yeah, and it's definitely girls love playing it, and the girls are actually very good at it.
Hmm.
They're smarter, they play more team, they're faster usually than these lumbering guys. There's pass more. Yeah.
Great. Well, good to know. I need to try it. All right, Christopher. Well, thank you so much for making the time to be on Humans of Data Science.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I really appreciate, Kate, everything you do for this group, for the community. Just I can't say enough, and thank you so much for having me on here.